What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Nopixafterdark podcast with your host, Aaron Dante, who brings you the hottest interviews with the dopest people sharing their experiences all across the world. Now, here's your host, Aaron Dante!
Welcome to the Nopixafterdark podcast. I'm your host, Aaron Dante. This is going to be one of the last episodes of the season. I'm so excited to have this episode. I've been waiting to get these people on the show for the longest time. This has been over a year and a half to get them on, but you know, say good things come to those who wait. So I'm very excited to tell you guys we're on location at Kocos. Woo, Kocos. If you don't know about Kocos, we're about to find out about Kocos. And we have right now the kitchen manager, Mr. Eric, right here.
Hello.
And then we have CEO, Mrs. Marcela. How are you?
I'm doing well, thank you.
Hey, thank you guys for coming on the show. Really appreciate it.
No problem.
Thank you.
And this is very exciting because this is one of my favorite restaurants to go to in Baltimore. Actually, anywhere in the world. The best crab cake in Baltimore. How many times? I can't count how many times you guys have won.
We're always in the running for it, which is it's great to hear. Just because, I mean, as you know, this place is so small. It's off the beaten path. It's quirky, and to get the notoriety that we've received over the last 10, 15 years is crazy. It's mind blowing, but we couldn't be happier with this place.
Yeah, it's been we've had quite a few awards with best crab cake, and we always seem to be in the top 3 whenever there's any contest. We're always up in the top 3, and we're just happy to be one of those.
The mayor always shouts you guys out every time. The mayor,
yes,
Brandon
we are
Scott, he's always
favorites.
like, gotta get the double platter. He's a double platter, right?
He's a double
Yes,
platter
he
man.
gets the
Yeah.
And that's how many ounces is that?
That's 22 ounces of crab cake.
Yes.
That little man puts down 22 ounces of crab cake.
That's a lot.
That's a lot.
That's a lot of crab
I
cake.
don't know if he'd like to be referred to as little man.
That's a lot of crab cake. So let's tell the audience a little bit about Kocos, the history of Kocos. How long has it been around in Baltimore?
Okay, so my parents, John and Joanna Kocovinos, opened Kocos in 1985. And it was just a little neighborhood bar at the time. And we didn't even have a kitchen. So they put a kitchen in, and it had just a couple pieces of equipment, stovetop, countertop pizza oven. That's what we used to cook our crab cakes in. And we probably sold
12 a week.
12 a week or something like that. We used to go up and buy like a pound or 2 of crab meat from Jerry D's up in Parkville, and that's how we started, and it just got popular, and somewhere along the line took off, and now it just keeps snowballing.
I love hearing that because, I didn't realize about Kocos. So I lived in NorthEast Baltimore from 2005. That's when I moved back home. I didn't know about Kocos until 2011. And I only lived
Wow.
3 miles from it here. 3 miles I lived from here.
Yeah.
And I did not know until 2011. Isn't that crazy? Mind-boggling when you think
Yes.
about it? Because I grew up I was originally from the Randallstown West Side area. So I knew about, G&Ms and things of that nature, Timbuktu. So that was always the West Side thing, but I never knew about Kocos. And the story I always tell people is when I learned about Kocos was when I was downtown in a restaurant in Harford Rd. And this guy says, what do you think of the best crab cake? And I'm like, honestly, the best crab cake I like is going down to Lexington Market. That's where I grew up. I'm going to get the peanuts and crab cakes. Uh-huh. And he's like, you got to go to Kocos. I'm like, where's Kocos at? Where's this place at? He's like, it's on Harford Rd. I'm like, I live like 2 streets from Harford Rd. How can this be?
What are you talking about?
He was like, let me tell you.
The bright yellow building.
Right, the bright yellow. He's like, it's going to be weird. When you're like, is this really what this is? You're going to think it's a hole in the wall, but it's not. And it's very bright, and, it gives that warm feeling. And I said, you know what? That next day, they were like, he's like, come on Thursdays. This is going to be a throwback for you guys. It was like $2 off or a couple dollars off on Thursdays back in the day. And that's when it would be packed in here, and you had to eat in, correct? You couldn't get takeout for it.
Right.
Yep.
See, I remember that. And I remember I came here the following week on a Friday during lunchtime. And I sat by myself at the bar, and I was like, let me try this crab cake. And let me tell you, I fell in love from that standpoint, from that point on. And now I bring my parents will drive all the way over from Owens Mills to have crab cakes.
Yeah.
Nice.
And it's a blessing that you guys are in our neighborhood, and we really appreciate what you guys do. So that's my little Koco story.
All
Yeah.
right.
My brother, he used to 10 bar here a few years back, and he would tell me stories like people would come in, they're like, we drove all the way from Perry, we're small, so obviously seating's very limited. He said, we drove all the way from Perry Hall, to get a crab cake, and we have to wait for a seat. And he's like, they're from Virginia, they're from Philly, they're from, it's like, it's crazy that, like, you came from 2 zip codes away. Like, you think, like, oh, I drove so far. It's like, literally, people come from all over to come here. And it's so crazy to hear, just this little tiny place. But, it's
Yeah, Saturdays especially, it's
Yeah.
full of out-of-towners. People will drive here for the day just to pick up lunch or to have lunch in.
yeah.
Wow. So, Miss Marcela, let's talk about the family business. Did you grow up in restaurants, because now I know where the name comes from now.
Right.
From the family's name.
Yes.
And, did you always know that we wanted to take over this restaurant, or did you were like, I don't want to be a part of this? This is family thing.
I didn't really want to be part of it when I was younger.
Right.
I was 19 when my parents bought the place. I did 10 bar a couple nights a week, but I had a full-time office job, and I worked for a company for 10 years in the corporate world, and I started missing being here. And so I came back and started working full-time here. Took some college classes, marketing, business, accounting, all that kind of stuff. And here I am.
Nice.
I just kind of got, once I did that, I was doing that, like I said, wasn't happy with my job anymore because I didn't feel like I was really growing anymore. So I figured I'd go to school, work here full-time, and then move on. And that didn't happen.
Still trying to get her to move on.
I just stayed, and now I love that I'm here, and I love that I was, had the opportunity to work with my mom and my dad all these years.
And when did you officially take over the reins of the business?
It's kind of hard to say officially because I took over a lot of responsibilities from my mom about 15 years ago.
Yeah.
And then, slowly just did more and more and more. And then, unfortunately, my dad had a heart attack, and he had to have a triple bypass. And by then, my mom was 70. And I was like, okay, Mom, now it's time. You have to quit. You have to stay home and take care of Dad. And that's what she did.
Yep.
Wow. Folks, we'll be right back after these messages. And folks, we are back at Kocos. Again, this is one of my favorite restaurants in the whole entire world, actually. And anytime I bring anybody in Baltimore to come visit, we come to Kocos and we get crab cakes here. And right now we're with Mr. Eric, the kitchen manager, who's been here. How many years have you been, Mr. Eric?
This was my first job when I was, 13 years old, just sweeping up behind the bar. I left for a few years, went to college, but I came back. So I would say off and on since I was 13, but for maybe 7 years now, full-time?
Full-time
Yep.
as kitchen manager.
That's nice. And Miss Marcela, the owner, CEO, CFO, everything, all the labels. Really appreciate you guys taking time to come on Nopixafterdark podcast.
Absolutely.
It's a blessing. I'm a neighborhood podcast. It's a neighborhood restaurant. This is just a marriage made in heaven.
That's right.
So let's talk about nitty-gritty about the crab cakes, okay? Locally sourced. That's a big topic all the time about crab meat. Give us a little breakdown of how it goes with locally sourced. When is it locally sourced? When it's not locally sourced? So people have an idea, so we can educate our customers a little bit about that.
So locally sourced crab meat in this region is talking about the Chesapeake Bay.
Right.
It is available. It's available during the summertime, and it is very good, and we use it when we can. But there's a lot of times that we're also not just a summer restaurant. We're open year round. So we do have to reach out to North Carolina. We get crab meat from them. Louisiana, Alabama, those regions, and Venezuela is also another country, a different country that we get our product from. They're all very good products, and that's what we pride ourselves on. We don't go with just the local meat because we want to say we use Maryland crab meat. Sometimes the Alabama meat's the best. Sometimes North Carolina meat's the best. A lot of times, really, the Venezuelan meat's the best. It all depends on what we get in. If something comes in that door, we don't like it, we send it back. Pissed off many of sales reps doing this, but it just, we have a quality that we need to maintain for our customers to come in, and they expect the best, and we want to give them the best. Sometimes the best is in Maryland, and there's a lot of times Maryland's not available. During the winter months, it's just simply not available. So when a lot of places are saying we use only Maryland crab meat, we're like, where'd you get it? So if you want to touch on anything else.
No, I think that's about it.
Okay.
I will say that the one crab meat that we never ever use is China crab meat.
Oh God, that stuff is disgusting.
It is terrible. It's just not something we would use here ever.
Because I know a lot of people, they question, like, where's the crab meat coming from?
Right.
They
Right, and nothing against China.
No.
I have nothing against China, but their crab meat is awful.
No. A lot of people I know, they question the crab meat. Is it Maryland? I always hear Maryland's a little bit sweeter. Is that true, or is that, or how do you like? I mean, I guess.
I think it's also because when we get crab meat, of course, it's already cooked. So we steam our crab meat where like Louisiana, they boil their crab meat.
Okay.
So it's more watery.
Yeah.
So
you have to get it from certain picking houses down there that don't boil their crab, because sometimes we get it in and it's a can of water. I'm like, no, we're not taking this. So it's really like trial and error. And there's some local meats that we don't use their products. Right. A lot of Maryland, they have too much shell in them, or they're not steamed right, or they're very mushy. We don't accept product from them.
It's all blue crab.
Yeah, we only use blue swimming crab, and that's
crab.
The Chinese crab is I think was said it was a red swimming crab.
So that's probably why it's not so.
Yeah,
good.
it's not the greatest, but
that's the one we won't even let through our door
Yeah.
to even test, because every time we have, it's not been up to our standards.
That's a big thing, because a lot of people ask about that. That's always
yeah, that's why I wanted to say that, because I'll have people say, you don't use that China stuff, do you? And I'm like, no, we do not use that.
Not. So the mix. Let's talk about the mix. Is there a secret family mix that you guys use?
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Definitely.
Well, my mom came up with the recipe, and she worked in a bunch of different bars and restaurants when she was younger. And the most notable one is the Pump Room down on North Avenue.
Okay.
I don't know, you might be too young,
Maybe too young
to know about the Pump Room, but that
Never
was
been there myself.
that was a famous place. A lot of people, I'm sure, will know it. And so that's where she came up with the recipe, just playing around with it, working in different places. And
now, what would you guys say? What is your mixture to crab ratio when you guys make the crab cake?
So out of 13 pounds of crab meat, we use
18 ounces.
Yeah, we use
filler.
18 ounces of bread, and then maybe it's not much. So we really try to load our crab cakes up.
It's mostly crab meat.
Yeah.
And it's 11 ounces.
11 ounces, we use 13 pounds of crab meat, and we get 22, 23 crab cakes.
Now, you guys have a couple different sizes of crab cakes now.
Yes.
Now, tell the audience a little bit about that, because I know you guys brought back the junior this year.
Yes.
With the pandemic. So we'll talk about the crab cake size, and we'll talk about the pandemic after that. Okay. So crab cake sizes, what size, how many ounces of this crab cake do you guys have?
So we became famous for the 11-ounce crab cake. That's
right.
the big one that people come in. But we usually, before the pandemic, we offered a junior during lunchtime, because most people don't want to come in and eat 11-ounce crab cake during their lunch break. Some people do, bless their souls, but a lot of people don't. So we offered that for lunch pre-pandemic. Once the pandemic kicked off, it just became too much on us to offer two sizes of crab cakes, and facilitating all the carryout orders. It was a big logistical nightmare in here. So we nixed the 6-ounce. Then the crab meat prices went through the roof, and we can't have people coming in spending $60 on one crab cake. So we brought the junior back. It was It was a big success. You know, people wanted it smaller, so we've decided to keep it on the menu. We have it available right now. We've talked about taking it back off for the weekend nights because that's when people come in for the big one. Like out of towners, they want what they came in for. They want that big crab cake, and they're the same recipe, same lumps in them, same. It's just a smaller portion for the 6 ounce, but yeah, it's been a pretty big success bringing that one back.
Let's talk about the pandemic. When the pandemic happened, yeah, because this place isn't that big.
No.
And indoor dining, you guys were like, we're not gonna go with it. We're gonna leave it alone. How did you pivot? Like how? Because I know you didn't open up for a while.
Yeah.
You guys, a couple weeks you guys didn't open up, and then you guys.
No, we stayed
you guys
open
did open?
straight
Okay.
through.
Okay,
Yeah.
you stayed open.
We
okay.
were at one point. Felt like we were the only restaurant in Baltimore open
Yeah.
because we had. I'm not kidding when I tell you like hundreds of people outside waiting, and we didn't have a system down yet.
Right, system,
so
okay.
they were
Yeah.
everywhere. Like just, it was scary when you looked outside. And all these people wanted their food. Like it was, we had a table set up. People would come and order. And then we had like a bullhorn at one point telling people when their order
Yeah,
was ready. It was pretty crazy.
Yeah.
I remember coming up here on a Friday, and there was the line was wrapped around the corner, and I'm like,
That's when we finally figured out we need a line.
this
Yeah.
is crazy.
Yeah,
Like,
so we painted parrots out front for people to stand on to keep socially distanced. We tried everything under the sun, but like a lot of times we're just throwing our hands up in the air and going, well, let's see what happens today, because like every day was so different. And
Yeah, we learned
Yeah.
every day, every week we got a little better, and then towards the end people were like, wow, you guys have the best system here.
I was talking with somebody at a function last week, and they talked about your system, and they said just exactly what you said. It's one of the best systems set up. It was always, you never felt claustrophobic. You never felt stressed. It was like you had your clean pens, dirty pens. You had sit over here. You come on this side, it's the order side. This side is the pickup side. It was always a really good. It was easy.
Yeah.
You guys made it easy for the customers.
Right.
So salute to you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That was. It was flawless. I'm sure behind the scenes it was probably a little bit different.
if you would have seen us in here some days, we were pulling our hair out. We didn't know what was going on. But we eventually, like she said, we came up with a system. We had a flow. Because for the longest time, like when the pandemic kicked off, I'll never forget this. I was at the gym. We were having a staff meeting that day when they shut down the restaurants. And 8 o'clock, we were like, maybe we'll hold on. We decided we were just going to switch to nothing but carry out. We were going to get ahead of the curve. And then 11 o'clock, the press conference came out that we all had to close down. And I remember I was at the gym. I was on the elliptical, and I just texted her. I was like, well, I guess here we go. And ever since then, I mean, it was a bumpy transition for sure, especially because the whole world went from dining in to eating out. So paper products were gone. Ordering products just became a nightmare. But eventually, we all shifted, and we were able to get our product lines in, and we came up with a system. And hats off to the staff, because I mean my job
our staff
changed
has been amazing.
a lot, but the people who were used to tending bar, they were no longer tending bar. People who were waiting on tables, they were no longer waiting on tables. They were answering phones. They were doing things they didn't really sign up to do, but they handled it I can't say flawlessly, but just hats off to them. They all did a fantastic job. And like you said, it became like we all developed a system. Everybody had ideas, because it wasn't just one person that came with this idea of switching to carry out and having it be so successful. Everybody out here just did such a great job, and hats off to them. This place became a warehouse. It didn't even resemble a restaurant.
Yep, it was like a factory
April.
in here.
Yeah.
I will say, Miss Marcela, you probably won't remember this, but it was one of the holidays, it might be Father's Day or something like that, and there was some little confusion on crab cakes, whatever. It was a post, and somebody reposted it and whatnot.
Oh,
and I
yeah.
remember it, and I was one of the customers. I remember this, and I always tell people this story. There were a line of people coming to pick up crab cakes, and they're like, "Your name's on this list." And I was like, "Oh no!" Like I ordered 3 or 4 crab cakes. Like, no, your name's on the list. And I remember you pulled me aside and you said, we're going to make it right. We're going to make it right. we're going to get these crab cakes taken care of. We're going to figure it out.
This is that day.
I remember that day.
And I remember you were like, come back either like the next day.
Next day, yep.
And pick up the crab cakes, and you guys made it happen. And let me tell you something. Most restaurants would have said, I don't care. We don't have it. And I remember that I always tell people that story. And when people come in town or anything, I said, go to Kocos. Because that service, you didn't have to do that. But you did that, and you helped out others that were there.
Yeah, there were quite a few people that showed up, and because someone had reposted it, and then we had already sold out.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my gosh, I felt so bad. So I even offered some people, I said, look, you can either come back at 3 o'clock, I'll make more. You can come back at 3 o'clock, or I'll give you a gift card to use at a future date.
Oh, man.
And
man.
They said, no, we'll be back at 3 o'clock. We don't want the free gift card. We'll come back and pay for your crab cakes. We want them.
Agreed.
And so they did, and I stayed here for hours longer. We were just...
We're getting ready for vacation, right? At that point?
Yeah, I think it was vacation, yeah. Maybe.
Wow, I remember that. It was.
But for some reason...
It was a staycation this year, but...
we had more crab cakes than we anticipated left over.
Yeah.
And so I was like, we put them on sale, we reduced the price. I can't remember what it was, but people went crazy.
It didn't matter because
It
I
was
was going to
so
buy
neat.
it. I didn't care. All right, so we got this crab cake in front of me. I can't ignore it.
Oh, there it is.
This right here. I'm going to show up the camera real quick. I know everybody's like, oh my God, what is this? It's the crab cake. Okay. This tomato is one of the best tomatoes.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Every time I get this tomato, I'm eating on camera, sorry. But this tomato.
That's like one of the things we're also known for
Yes.
is the thick
And
slice of tomato.
That I have to say, hats off to my mom.
Yep.
Because she loves her tomatoes. She would only get the best tomatoes in here, and just sprinkles the Old Bay on it, and just people go crazy
I'll
for
make sure
it.
the camera sees it. Okay. I mean, this is the size of my face.
It's old school. We're
Yeah.
old school.
Yeah.
But so let's continue. So what other things on your menu do you guys have that besides crab cake? Because I'm gonna tell you one of my favorite things on the menu. There's two favorite things I have on this menu besides crab cake. Is the chicken wings, the jerk chicken
Jamaican,
wing.
yeah.
Oh, let me tell you, and the shrimp salad. Bar none, the best shrimp salad I've had. What about you guys? What are some of your favorites that a lot of people come in?
I really like our coconut shrimp. We hand bread those in house. They're really good. Our wing sauces are all made.
Great burgers.
Yeah, burgers are a big hit here. They're really good. Patty daily, obviously. We don't use any frozen stuff.
Our ribs are really good.
Yeah,
We have
ribs,
people
yeah.
that drive from across town to get our ribs. I don't know if you ever tried them, but
I have.
Shout out to the Green family.
I've had the ribs. The ribs
and the
are
parrot head
delicious.
chicken. That's
Yeah, that's
the-
my dad's new favorite. He's literally
Yeah, parrot
addicted.
head's
I've
awesome.
had the shrimp and grits here. That was amazing.
Oh yes,
yes.
Eric
Oh,
does some great
yeah.
specials. Normally on Wednesdays. We kind of lost that during the pandemic,
it was so hard for
and we
for
haven't picked it up
specials.
yet. But those are things
It's
we're
coming.
going to be working
Yep.
on again
Oh,
once
that
after the
shrimp and
holiday
grits.
season.
That was like a Cajun style you did.
Yep.
Oh,
Yeah.
we need that.
It's
back.
good. It's coming.
We
It's
need
coming.
that
I'll
back.
let you know.
We
I'll
need
let you
that
know.
back.
I keep trying to get them to get the crab meat one. What are they?
Egg rolls?
Egg rolls.
Oh,
Yeah.
Did you try those?
Oh, crab egg rolls.
Yeah.
They
Oh.
are
Let me.
unreal. They are so good.
See, you
I
Man,
would
putting
come
me
here.
on the spot
I
here.
know. I tell
Jeez.
them, I go, please make them. I said, look, I would go out of my way to come here to eat those. That's how
Oh,
good
crab
it
egg
is.
rolls are best. They're best. By now.
His are phenomenal, though.
Can't wait. Can't wait. So let's talk about Thanksgiving has passed. This will be up after Thanksgiving. Christmas orders. When are we putting the Christmas orders in to make sure people get orders for Christmas? Give us the hours you guys will be open during Christmas hours. Will you guys be open Christmas Eve because it's on a Friday this year?
Yes, we will. Yep.
Give us a breakdown of the ordering process. They can order online for Kocos.
Right, yes.
Go ahead.
So we do offer online ordering now. We're finally in the 21st century. So they can place their orders for uncooked crab cakes to serve on Christmas, or if they're having family in, they want to get carry out to go. We are accepting reservations for Christmas week. They will fill up, absolutely will fill up. So if you want to get your family in here, definitely make your reservations as soon as possible. Christmas Eve, we are closing at 6 p.m. The kitchen will be closing probably around 5. Small business probably is what we go with. But also we do ship our crab cakes nationwide.
Okay.
So that will cut off the 19th, I believe, is the Friday for our last shipment.
17th.
17th.
Because our last shipment is on the
is
20th.
the 20th. And that's for next day delivery. They should arrive on the 21st. So yeah, that's how they can get them nationwide. But if you're local enough, just come in and pick them up.
Nice. Are you guys going to be running any specials for Small Business Saturday or anything like that coming up this year? Or I know last year it was closed, couldn't do anything. Not closed, but no dining in.
Right. Yes. So Small Business Saturday, we do a gift card promotion.
Okay.
20% off, I believe it is.
20% off gift
20%
cards.
off
We do
gift
that
cards.
Black Friday and Small Business Saturday.
Yep.
Okay. And we're sitting here at the bar. They are full service bar here, folks. Full
That's right.
service bar. What's the special?
And we have some fabulous cocktails.
That's what I was
We've
gonna ask.
got some rockin' bartenders
Okay.
that can make some serious craft cocktails.
What's the specialty craft cocktail that everybody eats here that's a popular one? I see some, looks like some fermented, what is that?
Oh, so that's our sangria, fall sangria. Yep. So our bartender Aga, she comes up with some seasonal sangrias. Right now it's the fall. It's got some apple in it. It's a red wine base, very good. So that's definitely a big hit. But I would say our most
The
popular,
fig.
the notorious fig.
Yeah, that's a big one.
Yeah,
right now.
it's got some Woodford Reserve in it. It's really good. Yeah.
Folks.
And of course, we're famous for our margaritas.
Yeah.
That's what
See?
started.
Yeah.
The margaritas, the
Yeah.
marks. Gotta go with the marks. Where can we you guys have went through everything. Anything else you guys want to mention about Kocos?
I would just hope to see everybody soon.
Yeah, we're recovering from the pandemic. We're
Yep.
finally getting back into the swing of things as far as, when we first opened back up for indoor dining, we were still doing a lot of carry out. And that's something that we are continuing, is to offer our full menu for takeout now. We didn't do that in the past. We used to just do our crab cakes to go. But since everyone supported us during the pandemic, we didn't want to turn around and take that away. And so we're still offering the full menu to go, and as well as dine-in, and however you want to join us, we're here.
Yeah.
All right, and this is the 11-ounce crab cake is in front of me. The 6-ounce junior is still around.
Yep.
So that's exciting. Anytime, do you think the crab prices will go down anytime soon?
They have
They have come down,
receded
yes.
a lot, actually. We were paying $61 a pound at one point for crab meat. I know you sent me a picture
Yeah, I
of
did.
$75 a pound.
I did send you a
And
picture
I
of
was
that.
like, oh my God. But yeah, they've come down.
Dramatically, but they're still not
But,
steady.
yeah, there's-
They're still they'll go down one week and then go back up the next, so it hasn't settled.
Yeah, if you guys think the
completely
stock
yet.
market's crazy, you should try the crab meat market. It's insane.
Wow.
But yeah, so they've come down, they've come back up, they've gone down, they've come back up, but we're starting to see a little bit of flatlining, a little bit more availability opening.
Right.
So we're happy about that.
That's great. Now, we're going to get off the crabs for a little bit. We're going to
All
talk
right.
about something. Quick questions.
Okay.
Rapid fire.
All right,
Flats or drums?
flats,
Blue cheese or ranch?
blue
Blue
cheese.
cheese.
I love it. I love it.
And Eric makes homemade blue cheese
Oh,
now.
I've
It's
had it.
awesome.
I've had it.
It is
It's
so
delicious.
good.
What is your favorite thing to do when you're not at work?
Think about work. No, mine is probably workout, or I like to smoke meats. Something we don't really do much here. Sometimes I put some specials on, but I like to smoke meats at my house. So that's a big thing with me and nature. Get out in nature.
Yep. I also like to get out in nature, and I prefer to do it in Dewey Beach, Delaware.
Okay. And what's the best advice you've ever received?
Never give up. That's, anytime you read a little motivational book or something, just keep pushing forward. That's kind of our mantra through the entire pandemic. There was times that all we wanted to do was cry, but we had to just keep pushing forward. So just never give up on your dreams, and we're making a reality here. How about you?
And I have to say,
Clean up
Mr.
after your
Fisher.
dog? Oh, yeah.
Mr. Fisher was a very good, Mr. Frank Fisher, very good customer of ours for years and years. Passed away fairly recently, maybe 2 years ago.
Yeah.
He was in his 90s. A matter of fact, he sat right in this bar stool for his 90th birthday and celebrated with us. And Mr. Fisher always said, keep the faith.
I love it.
And we actually had a plaque made that says, keep the faith, hanging up in our dining room. And that is to honor Mr. Fisher.
I love it.
They're words to live by.
I love it. And then the last thing I want to shout out to you guys. You guys take off twice a year for 1 week.
That's
Yes.
Why is that?
Because we need it.
right. We're worn out. We got to be able to
Yeah.
give good service. We got to get back up on our feet, and that's what we do.
I love it. I love it. Where can we find you guys on social media? and all that good stuff?
So we have a Instagram page, and we also have a Facebook. So it's just type in Kocos Pub, and it should come up. And we also have a website that has all of our updated pricing. You can order online. You can do our shipping through there. Order T-shirts, gift cards are all available online now. Because, like I said, we are in the 21st century now. We went kicking and screaming, but we're finally
Yes.
here. So, yeah, just Google us. We come up.
Yes, and it's Koco.
Yes.
Everybody spells it wrong,
Yep.
but it's Koco.
Well, thank you guys so much for making this happen. This interview, I'm excited for it to come out. Thank you guys for being a staple to the Northeast community.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Baltimore. And we're excited that bridge will be opening very soon.
Oh, God, I can't
Yes.
wait.
And that's more business that will be coming through here, stopping on it, getting crab cake, shrimp salad, ribs, chicken,
Wings.
and hopefully wings, and then we get some that
All right, shrimp and grits are
ribs.
coming.
Okay, all right. You know how to put you on the spot.
You know what?
You know how to put you on the spot. But again, thank you folks so much for everything. Love, peace, and happiness. You can find me on Nopixafterdark.com and Nopixafterdark on Instagram and Facebook and TikTok. All